Hi, this is Victoria with an intro to Warhammer. If you're a first timer or someone who doesn't have quite the handle on the rules that you'd like, this is definitely up your alley. So this is an intro to Warhammer, and this is where we're going to start with the basics of when you begin. You should look at the armies. There's about 15 different types that you can go into, and you should pick one that's right for you. Whether you like the style of them, whether you like their stats, the look of it, or how easy they are to build and paint. Whatever you like, find that, and then you have to grab your core rulebook, which is this book. It's very heavy, it's very big. It also costs more, but it's got a lot of stuff that you won't find in the smaller version, which is here. This one can be found in a special pack called Islands of Blood. You could also probably pick it up on eBay for cheaper instead of buying the kit itself. But this one right here, the bigger one, is going to give you just about everything you could possibly want to know about the rules, about the setting, all of that. So after you get your core rulebook, you're going to want to pick out your army, and after that you get your army-specific rulebooks, which each rulebook is different, and it has all the information you'll need for your specific army that you can't find necessarily in the core rulebook. It's got all the fluff, all the point costs, all the unit costs, everything. Even different specifics of your army. Then you're also going to need some more simple things like tape measure, which helps you measure on the playing field. And you'll also need a lot of D6 dice so you can battle your opponents. After your D6, then you'll need an artillery die and a scatter die. After you get all the supplies that you need, then you have your army settled and you have your army specific rulebook, and then you have to sit down and you make an army list with unit and point costs. And after that, you want to grab an experienced friend and set up a game for yourself. It'll really help for you to have a friend who does play, because then they can help you learn the rules a little bit better, and then you can see it in a demonstration as opposed to just reading about it. Now we're going to talk about turn order, and we're going to talk about gameplay. Afterwards, we're going to do a tutorial so you can see the way a game is actually played. So in each standard game, there's 6 turns, and there are 4 parts to each turn. There's movement, magic, shooting, and close combat. Now we're going to discuss movement. There are 4 parts to every movement phase. The first is to declare chargers, in which you take your unit and you pick an enemy unit to charge upon. You have to roll 2d6, and then you add your base movement. You take that total and then you measure the inches. If you'll come into base contact with your enemy unit, then you have successfully charged. Otherwise, this is considered a failed charge, and you move the highest number on the highest d6 that you've rolled. So after you declare your chargers, then you go into Compulsory Moves, which is followed by rallying the troops and regular movement. The next phase is the magic phase, which provides very high risk, high reward situations, which can actually alter the entire course of the game itself, which we will go into greater detail at a later date. The next phase is shooting, which is pretty straightforward. Anything that's a ranged weapon can be fired at this point, including bows, handguns, doom divers, which are also suicide goblin bombers, cannons, and trebuchets. Modifiers can make it harder to hit, such as long range and cover. And now on to close combat, where units that charged will be resolved. Now that we've gone through and explained all the phases, we're going to do a brief and generic gameplay that can better demonstrate the rules. So the first step is movement. The orcs have seized initiative and they're going to move first. They are outside of charge range, so we're just going to march them. Marching happens at the end of the movement phase and allows the unit to advance double their movement value, which is represented as M on their stat line. Okay, so now we're going to just measure out, and you're going to measure, in this case, 8 inches from the front of the movement tray to the front of where they will be moved to. Savage orcs have no magic and have no shooting, so then they pass turn. Now it's time for the movement phase of the sorcerer. going to measure to see how far apart the two units are. It's just under 30 inches. Oh no. Which is just over a foot. They're going to take the risk and try to move into combat. So now we're going to roll our 2d6, and if our rolls plus our movement successfully equals 12, then we have successfully charged the orcs. Yes. And we have succeeded, with a 10 as a roll, plus 4 as our base movement. And we have combat. Now we're entering into combat, and the models with the highest initiative will attack first. In this case, the orcs will attack first with an initiative of 2 over the Saurus Warriors with an initiative of 1. So now that we're in combat, and the Savage Orcs are going to go first, they have a base 1 attack, and they have an additional attack for Frenzy, and they also have another attack for an additional hand weapon, which gives the front rank a total of 15 attacks. The second rank may contribute 1 additional supporting attack per model, which gives a total of 20 attacks for this unit this turn. Okay, so for the first round of combat, the orcs have +1 strength due to the chopper rule. Get to the chopper. The Savage Orcs have a weapon skill of 4 against the Saurus's weapons attack skill points of 3, so they need a 3 to hit. So now we roll 20 dice, and anything above 3 is a hit. Resulting in 9 hits. So the orcs have a strength of 5 versus the Saurus' toughness of 4, resulting in the need of a 3 or higher to wound. So resulting in 6 wounded. Because the Saurus Warriors are equipped with hand weapons and shields, they get to attempt a parry save of 6+. This is in addition to the armor save as a second chance to deflect the blows. Now we're going to roll our 4 saves and looking for 6s. To which we have 1 6. So we saved 1 of our warriors. To which we lose 3. So now the Saurus Warriors get their sweet, sweet revenge. They have a base attack of 2, so for each model in front rank there are 10 attack points total, and for the extra 2 in the back you get an extra 1 point each, leaving in a total of 12 attack points. So now we roll 12 dice. Saurus Warriors have a weapon skill of 3 versus the orcs of 4, so they need a 4 to hit. Shitty rolling is hazardous to your health. So we have 7 hits altogether. So our Saurus Warriors have a base strength of 4 versus the orcs' toughness of 4. So they need a 4 to wound. So now we roll to see if we can actually wound anything. To which wounded 4. So the Savage Orcs wear no armor, but they have a 6+ wound save thanks to their tactics. So now we're going to roll the 4 dice and hope for 6s. And we get 1. Now we're going to enter into combat resolution. Combat resolution allows us to see which side actually won this round. There are many important factors to figuring out who exactly won. It's calculated by tallying the models taken out of the game on both sides, and then you add up any banners, standard bears, and rank bonuses. Because it's the first round of combat, and and because the Saurus is charged, they get a +1 combat bonus, or +1 combat resolution. Once you figure out both numbers, the highest number has won for the round. The lowest number has to see if they break from combat. Breaking from combat is calculated by using the leadership stat on their chart and subtracting by the number they've lost combat by. Neither the orcs nor the Saurus warriors have standard bears, banners, or rank bonuses. But since the Saurus warriors killed one more orc and they charged, they have won the combat by 2. The orcs now have to roll leadership on -2 on 2d6. Their leadership is 7, so they have to roll a 5 or under to stay in combat. If they roll above that, they break from combat. So now we're rolling to see if we break from combat, to which we have to get a 5 and under to see if we stay in the game. And we have not made 5, we've got above that, so we've broken from combat. In which we turn around, and we've gotten a 6. We roll 2d6 to see how many inches we are flitting. So it's from the front of the front ranks that we measure. So now the Saurus warriors can choose to pursue the orcs. If they roll a 6 or higher, they have caught and overrun the orcs. So now we're going to roll to see if we can get a 6 or higher. And we've gotten an 8. The orcs have now been overrun and the unit is destroyed. Roll dice, get bitches. Get to the chopper.